Hello Internet and welcome to another episode of Automotive Carnage. In today's episode we take our 92 EB Falcon and turn it into a variety bush bash vehicle. Alright, so as some of you may remember, this is our 92 EB Falcon that we picked up a couple of weeks ago for a couple of $100. Now, it's not quite the state that we initially thought, being that we brought it sight unseen. The pictures on the internet painted a fantastic picture, and now we've got it, it's not so fantastic anymore. But that's okay. With our box of goodies and my helpful little assistant here, we should be able to get this thing road ready in no time. So we'll go from what we have here, and today we're just going to focus on basic servicing pretty much. So what we do have, we have a CB radio that we need to hardwire into the system. We have engine oil. Now we've already been for a drive and put some engine flush in the car to get rid of all that gunk because we have no idea what the service history is on this vehicle. We have our seat covers. What else can we put in today? Rubber mounts for hanging the exhaust.
We can put in the screwdrivers.
Put in the screw. Oh, we don't need to put the screwdrivers in today, but we could make a spot for them.
I mean spanners.
12-volt socket adapter so we can run all our accessories. We got spark plugs, air filter, fuel filter, massive oil filter. That thing's huge. Loads. What else we got here? Got enough. A spare fuel filter. Hopefully we can get our water temperature gauge in today. What else we got here? Headlight glows. And most importantly, fluffy dice. So anyway, let's get into it. We'll start in the engine bay here and we'll work our way backwards.
Fluffy dice.
Okay, so that is engine-based servicing done for now, after a few oil spills and coolant spills and, you know, just one of those days where things don't go smoothly. Like you get stuff done, but it's just not easy. It's been one of those with this car today. But anyway, what we've done, we've replaced the air filter, we've replaced the spark plugs. We definitely do need new leads, but they are still coming, along with many other parts, but we'll talk about that later. Took me a while to get the firing order correct, but we eventually got there and it runs really well now. New oil filter. We have a fuel filter that needs to go in, but we'll do that later. We've plumbed in where the water temperature sensor goes, so that's ready to be wired in. We definitely need to make a list of things that have to be replaced. For example, this battery clamp has actually been eroded away from the battery acid that's leaked. I'm guessing from the old battery because there's no signs on that one of corrosion. This car is really bland. Like it's been serviced at some point in its life because I'm finding parts that have been replaced, but then it hasn't been well looked after from the last owner because there's just oil leaks everywhere that need to be cleaned up. So we need to clean those before we go, so we identify any leaks now before we're stuck in the bush. But yeah, otherwise this car is unmodified. It's still got the standard exhaust, it's still got the standard headers. Yeah, I think we do need to make this thing a bit more peppy and a bit more fun, but that's if we have time. Speaking of time, we were quite late entering the variety bush bash, so we only have just over a month to get this all ready. So we have to modify this vehicle, get that ready, plus we also have to do fundraising to the tune of $4,000 for Variety Kids charity. That's the whole reason that we're doing this, is for the kids. The Variety charity does some amazing things for disadvantaged kids, or kids with disabilities, or kids with cancer and all that kind of stuff. So please jump on board and help us out. Any donations you make are greatly appreciated, whether it's small, large, whatever. it's much appreciated. So there's a link in the description below that will directly link you to our fundraising page, and every dollar raised is great. So please think about it, please click on that link and give what you can, much appreciated. In the meantime, let's go move into the cabin and put our car seats on. We'll start figuring out where we're going to put the radio, and we'll start figuring out where to put the water temperature gauge. That's the word I'm looking for. We're going to fit all that in there somewhere. Plus we're going to put cup holders in. I am not doing a cross-state journey without a single cup holder. No. We're going to put cup holders in there somewhere. And we have to mount our fluffy dice. So we have seat covers. Now these ones are on special, and that's why we have them, because I always think it was actually really expensive. I don't understand why. So, oh yes, we're going to look fabulous with these. Oh, look at this. This is awesome. Alright, that one, so you can see I've got headrest covers as well. Very nice. Cover up all those horrible stains that we have.
Gonna show the viewers what they're getting?
Yeah. Go through the hole. Come on, it's not too tight. Get in there. Look at that. It's flash. It also appears to be too small. Ah, there we go. Just a very well-fitting tuxedo. There we go. Ah, very nice. Alright, let's find something else to put in this car. Alright, so we're running into the night time now. As I said, we've got just over a month to get this car ready, and there's still a lot to be done. So along with the list of jobs we're doing today, there are still a lot of serious modifications that need to be done as well. But we'll get to that in a later episode. Today we're just getting all this basic stuff out of the way first. We've done the car seat covers, they look amazing. Now it's on to the radio, CB radio, and mounting our water temperature gauge. So hopefully we can get all that done tonight. Let's stop talking and let's dive into it, starting with that radio. We're changing it because the factory floor one doesn't work, and seriously, who runs a cassette these days? Like, come on man, that's not cool. Alright, time for an update, and I think I jinxed myself when I said the easy jobs, get them out of the way first. Nothing's ever easy when you customize a car. I should know this by now. Eesh. Okay, stereo, that goes in there. The old one has these brackets, and they go like thus, and then obviously bolts to the side of the stereo here. These are old, and the measurements don't line up with the holes on the side of my head unit. So that's okay, we can make that work somehow, and then obviously there's wiring involved, which wiring's all there, so that's not too hard. It's not the first time I've done this. Moving on to the next job, which is my water temperature gauge. I really wanted that to fit in there, but it's not going in. So we're gonna have to, it's still the best place for this to go. There's nowhere else really for it to fit nicely. The CB radio is going to bolt onto the side here, so it's easy access for the navigator, and that's what's going on here. So what I find interesting about the Ford Falcon, well this one anyway, this is a basement model, and it's got all these like little blank out plates everywhere, from where uprated models have different buttons and different features, and this one here's my favorite, right? So this one's got clips on the back, but it's absolute blanks here, and that sits down, oh it's a bit dark, but that sits down in there, right? All the wiring is here. So they've also used the same wiring harness no matter what model it is, and so for me that kind of makes it a bit of a Lego car, that if you've got the basement model and then you find the switch that goes here, and then I'm guessing at the other end of whatever that switch goes to, say it's the air conditioning button, turn the aircon, I know aircon's there, but anyway, push the air conditioning button, and if you have the air conditioning unit in the engine bay, it would turn it on, because I assume that if the loom's here, then the loom's going to be at the other end. So you could really go junkyard diving with this car and retrofit all these different features into your car, because the wiring is already here, chased through the whole vehicle. So when we pull out the multimeter and test all which one's our ground on here, because I have no idea, we'll see if we've actually got power to these. That will be really interesting. They're all over the show. So anyway, I'm going to figure out how to put the radio in position. I'm going to get my hole saw and drill out that hole anyway and just make it fit. And then we'll start running some cables. Alright, we're going to call it a night there. It's getting pretty late now, getting pretty cold. Make sure you tune in next time when we start to get this car ready for painting. We have borrowed a paint scheme from a pretty unique and exciting car. It's been a favourite scheme of mine for a very long time, so we're finally going to do it on this car because that's going to be awesome. So, tune in for that one and we'll see you then.
Ooh, sneak peek.